fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Hey there, Star Trek Fleet Command fans. Welcome back to another video. You have to excuse the random deepness of my voice and the lack of editing on this one because actually recording this one after we live streamed. So I did a live stream on Twitch with No One Shall, Ultimate DJ, a ton of our followers, and played a bunch of Jackbox party games and ended up going like 4 hours. So it went into my making video time. So this is kind of all over the place. But I've had a lot of you ask about the basics. And we'll hit the basics of going through a combat log and understanding what you're looking at and what you're looking for to understand how some of the stuff works and maybe answer some basic questions. This is not going to be one that I go terribly deep in. Like, we're not going to talk about the differences in mitigation. There's a video for that and a calculator for that. We're not going to talk about officer crews and stuff like that. Just the basics of a battle report and what you're looking at, because the information that's provided is pretty basic in its front. So we'll kind of break it down from looking at it that way. So without further ado, why don't we just hop on right into it? So I'm going to look at reports with hostiles. The reason I'm choosing to do hostiles is pretty simple. I'm simply trying to keep it as basic as possible. We're not trying to look to add in, mitigation changes. I mean, we'll talk about that, but we're mainly focusing on just the bread and butter of what a battle log looks like. So I'm really going to start from literally step one and the officer bonuses that you'll see proc. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you that you have an issue, like if you're running armadas, where you might see an officer proc, but you won't see other examples of that same officer procking, but it's still procking, if that makes sense. Like maybe you'll have 5 ships and 3 of them have Kirk, and you only see 1 Kirk activating. Doesn't mean the other Kirks aren't activating, but sometimes there's an issue with the log displaying multiple officers. So let's start with this right here. Let's start with the auger receiving damage from the Federation ship. So you have 3 layers that you have when it comes to a battle. So each shot does 1 amount of damage. So in this case, it's 16,875. So that's the damage that's done. And then that damage goes through multiple layers before it gets to your hull. It goes through 2 different layers before it gets to your hull. The first layer it has to go through is called mitigation. And that's this top amount right here. So what we'll do is we can zero this out and you'll see 16,875. You see 12 is mitigated. So then we'll do our little math. 12,015 divided by 16,875. So we mitigated 71.2%, which is the maximum amount of mitigation. That's the cap. That's as much as we can mitigate in this game in terms of the design. And I'm talking about sneaky workarounds and things like that, but 71.2, that's like your max mitigation. So we mitigated 71.2, which means that we're left with 29% of the damage coming to us. And then from that, we get to the second layer, which is shields. So when your shields are up, so let's talk about the amount of damage that's left. So we had 12,015. So if we do 16,875 minus 12,015. Here's what's left. 4,860 is what's left from the damage that the opposing ship produced. So now we have to look at shield health and what shield health does. What's shield's role in all this? Because, we've talked about morale, how important morale can be for like low. I'm not even going to edit it out. I'm going to leave it there. We talk about low-level players. Like say you're level 19, and I talk about faction grinding so you can get that Kirk Spock crew going. Well, that's the purpose of the morale crew. The basic morale setup is to keep your shields up. Why is that important? Well, we can see right here. So if you look at 4,860, well, we're going to take 388, so 4,860. Remember that number, 4,860. So we're going to take the amount that's done here and then divide it by 4,860, and we find 8, which is 80%. So what shields do for you from the basic standpoint, shields then negate 80% of the damage. So the first thing we did was mitigation. So mitigation and fighting hostiles, 71.2. So now we're stopping more than 71% of the damage. So of the 28.8% damage left, then we stop 80% of that with shields. So then what is left? What started off as 16,875 damage becomes 972. So let's talk about why that's important. Let's talk about the ships themselves. So you'll see our health here. You know, the health of the ship. We're talking about the whole health of a ship. Now you'll notice that I do have a 270% bonus. Shield health, whole health. So 2 million whole health. So that whole health that we're talking about sustaining there, that is what keeps your ship alive or dead. Shield health is what helps keep up the barrier of 80%. Mitigation is how much, think of it like glancing blows. Like mitigation is what, like when boxers wear the Vaseline on their face, so when they get punched, the glove slides. You know, that's what mitigation does. The second layer is the shield, and that's where the shield health is important. Now, this is also why shields going away is important. So we pull up this one. Hopefully I didn't kill it in like 2 shots. It's only 2 rounds. But let's see. Shield depletion. And then do I get another shot? Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. So let's compare here. So let's do an energy shot to an energy shot. So these are the same shots as 78,000, 74,000. So let's do this here. Look at this top one. This is our ship doing 78,137. Now 37,174, that is mitigated. So let's do our good old-fashioned maths. 37,174 divided by 78,137. So they're only mitigating 47.5%. Remember, officers and things, bonuses to your piercings, those all have a effect on mitigation. We're not necessarily getting into what causes the mitigation to be different, but remember, layer 1 mitigation, this is what mitigation does. So they're doing a 47.5 mitigation. Next up, though, so now we need to do 78,137 minus 37,174. 40,963 is the amount of damage I dealt that's left. Now their shields are going to mitigate that. Or their shields, I'm sorry, I don't want to use the word mitigation. The first layer is mitigation. Then their shields are going to deflect that. So now let's do that. 40,963. Remember that number for me. 40,963 divided by 40,963. Bam, 79.999. 80%. So you see their shields doing the exact same thing, stopping 80% of the damage, which means I only put, of a shot that did 78,000 damage, only 8,193 actually hurt the ship in terms of we're killing the ship. So when you have the 3 levels, mitigation, shield, it's only level 3 that actually kills the ship. Killing the shields doesn't kill the ship. Killing the shields stops the ship from being able to deflect what's left of your damage that wasn't mitigated. This is what kills a ship, and this is what we're trying to get down to. So when we talk about, when I talk about using officers that change mitigation, changing mitigation means more damage goes to the shield, which means quicker this goes down, which means quicker we can take this out. I don't know why my hand wants to glitch out on the screen. But anyway, you see that there. Now let's compare that to right below where we did take out the shield. So now 73,403, which is right in that damage range we talk about. You see mitigated, the mitigation doesn't change, but now that there's no shield health, everything that remains, 100% of the remaining, which in our case was what, 50 something percent, now goes straight into the hull, and then I get a critical in the next round for my energy shot right here, and half of that goes straight into the hull, or more than half of that, and that destroys the ship. So you see how quickly, it went through what? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots before the shields went down. And then the shields are down, took 2 shots to wipe it. And that's what you're going to find. That's the basics of our battle log here. Now, to give you some basics of mitigation, we've talked about that in a mitigation video, but what you're looking at right here are these. So armor piercing, shield piercing, and accuracy. And then you've got armor, shield deflection, and dodge. This is the defense of the Federation trader that I'm hitting. My shield piercing is obviously higher than the shield deflection, so I'm getting a bonus there. That isn't helping my mitigation. When I have a number that's higher, that's helping me change that 71.2. Now I'm lowering it. You're mitigating less. And you see my accuracy goes to dodge. Armor piercing goes to armor. And anything I have in the fight that will raise that, like an officer boost and bonuses that, grow our bonus, that can help with that number. Obviously, criticals do critical damage, etc. But this is your mitigation we're talking about. And then this is how we kill the ship. So you go into the fight saying, I need to do 203,000 hull damage to win. So you talk about burning doing 1% in the background. So burning would do 20,000 a round, which might not sound like a lot, but when you remember when the shields are up, we only did, 8,000. 20,000 could be a lot. So that's when we talk about officer abilities being effective. But anyway, a lot of people ask for the very basics of a battle log. We can go into deeper stuff later, but I think the main thing people needed to understand was layer 1 is mitigation. Layer 2 is shield. Shield deflects 80% of damage that's left over from mitigation. And then finally you have hull damage. Hull damage determines how much and how quickly you actually destroy the target that you're trying to fight. Hopefully this helped you understand the basics of battle logs in the game. We can of course go deeper into this by talking about mitigation, how that occurs, different damage types, looking at ships, and understanding how the weapons work in terms of how the weapons are determine the amounts of damage they put out. But like I said, this is a basic video and hopefully it helps you. If it did, all I ask, hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the join button to support the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you're following for all Star Trek Fleet Command content. And once again, I encourage you to go check out that Twitch stream we did. It's on the Twitch page. Go under videos. Myself, DJ No One, had a hilarious time. Did get a little not safe for work, little adult theme towards the end as we had some good fun. But anyway, love y'all. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for their Space Cowboys. Apologies for the channel being or this video not being edited at all. I just, blah. Anyway, love y'all. See ya. An even better outro than the intro. Yeah!
Woo!